Hello and welcome back. I'm Bebo Joe and this is Season X, The Fix. Today, we're going to continue with the Steel City and hopefully get all of that done. I don't think we're going to get it turned on, but if there are any other issues that arise along the way, we will get there. I am opting to start right at the beginning of winter, and that's fine, but once we're done with this, I will sit down and pay off all the loans that I can pay off and see where we end up. Yes, we do pay a little bit of interest and all those things, and our money that we had made with the vehicles that we purchased is actually disappearing because there are no more vehicles sitting on the border that we can export, so we have to be careful with that for sure. So don't overestimate, underestimate, or misestimate any of that stuff, just FYI. But where were we? With the city, we had all of our shipping centers built. We had a pub built that we may or may not have booze for. We have a cinema. We have some other attraction built. We have a sports location built. We have a hospital. By built, I mean planned. We have a fire station planned. We have a school planned, no orphanage. We have a university, so we have educated people. We have a police station. We have no courthouse or prison, but we have a secret police. We have a city accounting office, and then we built the technical service office. All of those things are great because that just translates to we are now in a position to actually turn on our residential building placements. Great. I have absolutely no interest in going ham on planning this out in any way, shape, or form that's not simply a I need workers for steel mindset. What that translates to is Nerpo flats all the way. I do not mind this one bit, and we have to just do the math. We don't need a lot of these, but high density buildings have problems. Mostly utilities and similar things will overload really easy. So we got to be aware of that. Just give a little bit extra space that we normally wouldn't give and see how that works out. There's 593 people fitting in these. I'm going to count them as 500 to math easier. So 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000. Okay, it's really not that many. 2,000, 2,500, 3,000. And then I think we're going to start out here. 3,000, 35, 4,000, 45, 5,000. 45, 5,000, 55, 6,000 people. Okay, 6,000 people potentially fit into this thing. It's not the view, but everything is centered around the footpath, and the footpath itself should enable us to do the rest. Okay, speaking of the footpath, let's build the footpath. And also speaking of buildings, these footpaths are completely atrocious the way I built them. I just have to flip them around a little bit so they actually make sense. But as long as it doesn't snow right away, I will at least have the imprints of where they're supposed to be. T-R. There you go. Face forward with the footpath. I know they look a little different from the other buildings that we already placed, but I think this will be fine. So, what are potential problems of building this large? Well, kindergartens are probably the first thing that comes to mind because they do get overloaded relatively fast. If you don't watch out, especially if you have Nerpo flats. The next one that comes to mind is heat and power. Now, power we can overload up to, I heard a number recently that was like 300%. If you go 300% overload for power in a city, you are within appropriate limits of that city still functioning down the road. I may have even said that number out loud at some point. I do not know if that's still accurate, but sure, we may use that. As you saw, I just put a circle road around this. That should enable trucks from the technical service office, but also vehicles, emergency vehicles from other places to get out there and make sure that they can get to where they need to go. Wonderful. Let's keep an eye on a couple numbers here. 5% unemployment. In the winter, it always goes up a little bit. That's fine. Unhappiness has not decreased a lot. That is good. And the numbers out here, I know that this one was at some point 19%, is actually going in the correct direction. That is wonderful. Good to see everyone's relatively healthy. Some of the buildings actually get a little bit of construction done, which is super duper. Let's see if you... Hey, they actually got a couple of the high priority items done, so that's cool. Some unfinished roads, some other things that need to get done. That's all great. And the kindergarten is done too. That's actually really nice. And also, Construction Office Group 9. Would you mind helping more with more construction out here? That would be great. I don't know if as part of this fix mini-series, we are going to worry about the chemical plants. Yes, it would be really nice if I could do that. But reality probably has other plans with the time that we are given to do any nonsense around here. So it's just... let's just see what we will see, and we will work with what we are given, what we have, what we will do, where it will be. It'll be fine. Don't worry. Footpaths. Yes, footpaths are great. Let's just get a couple done that go kind of across everything into the winter nights of whatever's going on here. But honestly, yeah, we're just going to start with a couple, and they will just have to do more, or at least enough groundwork to make this actually worth it. Cool. This is all fine. You can go there. Yeah, we're just going to do a couple general cross paths to see if we have most of the footpath access that we need for the city. I think the answer to that is probably yes, but you always want to be sure. You don't just want to assume. Okay, you go kind of here. Honestly, that's not the great place for you. This one is not the great place. Now, a footpath, you would go all the way through here. Great. And then we have this one probably happening here, and here, and here. And then, yeah, this is the footpaths. Don't worry. This is mostly a grid. There's nothing really exciting going on, but they all have to happen. And this is a very big white space. This is a very big open space that I should do something with. We also still have to do trash and probably several other things that we should take care of before too long. Let's actually take this one back because there's a little bit of an opportunity to have a nice-ish footpath out here. There you go. That one can connect to there. And there you go. Cool. Yeah. Kindergartens. Let's throw some in because now we're in a position where we can do that. 18 for 180. If you have Nurple flats, don't even try. This one probably covers most of this general area. That's nice. This one should be able to cover most of the houses out here. And then what? So how many houses do we have? We have 5 here, we have 3 here, and 4 here. So 4, 4, and 4 is really what we got. So 16 of these. All right. Is that right? No, it's 12. It's 12 of these. What were you saying? You're also only close to, 12 times 600 is 6,000? Over, yeah, about 6,000. There we go. Math is right. Cool. Yeah, is 2 going to be enough? 2 may be enough. So, yeah, you can just continue doing the next thing, I suppose. Trash will be the last thing as usual, but I would like to get as many of these footpaths and things in as possible without using helicopters. Helicopters are great, but they eat so much fuel that it's just so hard to pay for that I don't want to get into that. So let's get our construction office friends from construction crew 2 out here. That's the wrong button. Get them out here to get a couple of the roads at least done. It looks like they're doing a couple things here and there. I would just like them to do a little more even. And they should be able to relatively soon make pretty big impacts on everything that needs to be built in that area. We have a good chunk of gravel actually sitting here. So I feel kind of confident that that's all going to happen. Very good. I do like that our population number has not done something stupid, but while we're here, let's jump to the other side of the map and see how these people are doing. You're actually not empty. That is good news. You are actually kind of empty, but you're not unhappy about it. That is also good news. I will spend a little bit of money to fill up some of these buildings at least. You're doing pretty well. You're doing pretty sad. So let's get another big group of you guys in. Okay, you are what you are. You are intermittent. This can only help. And again, we do want to fix this. So at some point at the end of this, all of it should be fine. Let's make this one constructible. No, not destructible, constructible. There you go. Construction office. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. 6 wants to come out here. All right. Please help. Wonderful. Yeah. What about meatpacking plant over here? You have 49% happiness. Wonderful. You have 46% happiness. High happiness. High-ish loyalty. No booze. Some clothing. The shops are just not able to do what I need you to do. Is that what this really translates to? Because you're okay and you're okay. You are technically producing the heat that we need, at least, unless these people have heat problems, and I don't know about that. But yeah, pub tavern, they seem to be pretty upset about this part. I'm not sure what to do with that. Sorry about it. We're just gonna leave that alone because I don't want to deal with that. You should deal with that eventually. Once we get to that, we will deal with it. Okay, so we have all the buildings planned. What's next? After you plan all the buildings, you have to build all the utilities. All right, where are we going to get water from for this city out here? It's a great question. If we go look underground, we have a sewage pipe out here. We're going to use that probably. And we have some water coming in right here. That is nice. There's a large water tower over here that we're currently not overloading. Okay. And I am assuming that this pipe is our connection to the city that is going into one pump right there. You are running at 40% and adding 6,000 people should not overload you more, because we're doing 140, 180 cubic meters of water, but we have more than enough water pipes coming in on that side. The one thing that we could do is add another water connection to the big water tower that I just looked at, because we only have one that actually gets anything here. Actually, we have this one too, and you are just fine. But yeah, 150 cubic meters for the population that we already have on the line and the area and the industries feels pretty much like, yeah, we can definitely handle a little more. So yeah, we can just hook into that water tower. Great. We don't need our own water treatment plant. That's a good thing. Sewage. Where am I dumping the sewage? It's down here. That's far enough away. I don't think I have to worry about that one. Good. So let's do... Is this what you're going to do next, or are you going to do heat next? Heat has bigger buildings, so we should do that. This one you do have to be pretty careful. We only have 300 cubic meters of heat. Heat, you cannot overload. Do not overload it. In Siberia, you want to underload it. The hot water tank is 41 cubic meters. So, 2 is 80... 4 is 160, 6 is 240, and then 7. We can fit 7 in here. What did we say? We had 12. So two large heated water tanks for these two areas, and effectively one in the middle of the city should cover it, which is why we are using a large heat exchanger. We're not in Siberia, so I don't think I have to worry about distance, like the distance the heat has to travel here very much. So this one should be fine as long as you cover everything. Yes, you do cover all of the buildings that we care about in this case. Great, good job. Let's cover everything that we have here. Somewhere in this general area. That looks good. And then we do one more a little closer to the general vicinity of some more residential buildings, which will be actually down here. Next to the kids, you know, kindergarten? Yeah, that should be fine. All right, let's build your pipes. Let's go underground to the next part. The large heating pipes coming from right here. There's nowhere there's enough room. But let's see. Not enough room, but enough distance. 871 meters. Beautiful. Then you gonna do the same thing. Going all the way out here. Beautiful. And this one will probably need a heat exchanger. Yep, you're just too long. You could probably go to here if you wanted to, and then you don't need a heat exchanger. think if I do that, the building all the way out here is going to be a little sad. So let's just build a heat pump and call it good. Relatively easy to throw in here, so I'm not terribly worried about this one. Underground heat pipe, you go all the way here. Thank you. And then you go all the way here. Is there any reason why you should build above ground heat pipes? Nope, 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 absolutely not. Too much heat loss. They don't really help you do the things that you want to do. So don't even try. Okay, that's done. The other two. Sewage. Yes. Sewage. How much sewage do we spit out of the Nurple Flats? Sewage consumption. Quality of flats 90, passenger capacity, hot water tank, building, maximum lifespan, max daily water consumption 26. You can translate water consumption for a large pipe the same as sewage consumption or production for a large pipe. They're kind of equivalent, not exactly, but if you put 30 cubic meters of water into a building and a lot of people flush the toilet, you end up with more than 30 cubic meters of sewage, if you know what I mean. So we have to handle about 20, let's call it 30. I don't want to do math. Let's call it 30. Okay. If we have 30 cubic meters of water per thing, and our large water pipe at best can handle 130, then 4 of the large Nurple Flats would be okay with this. That is overestimating. That is 100% overestimating, but I need this city to just work. This city has to churn out so much steel. Steel should never sleep. I don't want there to be a water problem. I don't want there to be any of those problems. However, I'm saying, listen to what I'm saying. If I'm saying that I need 127 cubic meters of water to handle effectively 5 buildings, right? Effectively 5 Nurple Flats. We have 12 Nurple Flats here, and I need at least 2 large big water pipes to just handle the residential areas over here. 2 large big water pipes translates to 127 cubic meters times 2, which is about 250 cubic meters of water. Okay. I'm saying all that because the production over here, F3, was not maxed out by any means. It was fine. It could produce up to 300 cubic meters of water as long as there's only 30 cubic meters of waste falling out of this, which is 10%. So as long as your waste, as long as your pollution of the water that you get in here is only 10% or less, you can handle it. And we do have some capacity, but not enough. This is only 4 Nurple Flat buildings. If we, I don't think there's an overview that can actually show us what I want to see here. But I think you're probably getting the gist of what I'm trying to get to. But there's good pressure happening out here. That's nice, but I would like to see water flow. Okay. All right. Maybe this is more real of what I needed to see. And it's very confusing. This is very confusing. Because this one clearly says 4 point some cubic meter in a building that's full. It's not fully happy, which would make me think they take longer showers. But it is not 26. So what was I reading? Is there anything I need to see here? We have cubic, no, this is the water flow that I'm expecting. 4 or 5 cubic meters of water a day. This changes everything because it's not the number that I was reading over here. This one says max daily water consumption 26.69. If I look at that number, it's nowhere close to that. So 10 of these buildings require 50 cubic meters a day. So 12 is 60, which means, yeah, the pipe that we have is probably fine because we're not going to use 100 cubic meters. I think it would be prudent to add another water connection to that large water tower that we have sitting out there. But outside of that, I don't think we need much. Like, there are 3 water towers already connected to this thing. This one probably has the least amount of cubic of water going through a day. We could connect to that one. Do we actually have another water connection that we could connect to? No, we do not. But we could split out from this pump. Well, you're already using 30 cubic meters. That's more than I thought. You are using 40. Okay, I think I'm just talking myself into our own water treatment plant. It's not completely necessary. But I think we're going to use about 150 cubic meters at some point in this area, and I want to be prepared for that. We are running out low on money again. That's not what I want to see. We have a little more buffer to give there, but if I don't return as much money as I can, obviously my daily payments are higher, and the daily payments higher meaning all types of other problems. So let's get this down to 200 million in the bank and see where we are. All right, I removed about a little over 10 pages of loans, and we still owe a lot of money, and now it went down to, or up to 230 again, so I still have a little bit of money to give back. But effectively, it has reduced our daily payment from when we started the fix to almost half of that, which that should help a little bit at least, maybe, potentially. As long as we make a little bit of money, that's all good. But as you can see, we're not really staying ahead of all the things that we want yet. So I think one of the big things that we need to get done is actually the city going. And I am very willing to use our helicopter crew to make that happen, actually. But before I make that happen, I have to make one adjustment. This is not news. This is just something that I haven't done before. And what that translates to is very simple. Once I find the thing that I want, which is this. No, that's the fuel bitumen. That's one distribution office. This distribution office picks up fuel currently from our oil refinery, which is correct. Now, the problem with this is that if you pick up all your oil, all your fuel from here, then that fuel does not go to the island. If the fuel doesn't go to the island, we have a real problem. We don't want that. If I pick up my fuel from the customs house, we don't have that same problem. What that translates to is, for the time being, the peninsula will be dependent on money to get fuel, especially for the helicopters, so they can do what they need to do, so we can build the things that need to go into this area. Great. Helicopter crew, that should be over here. Let's start building some of the core of the buildings, or core buildings. I don't really want to build this infrastructure of you, but you can definitely get started on all of these facilities with your helicopters. We don't care what happens to the frame rate, we just need a couple things done. 400,000 in the bank, that means a little bit more payback. I'll be right back. So they're doing their thing, great. But I did talk myself into more local water for here, and we have a very simple location for that. I mean, right here, there's no pollution out here. There shouldn't be anything. Yes, there's pollution in this area, but there's nothing really containing the area out here, and we don't have that much water need for the city. So let's look at water treatment plant, what we have available. We have this one. You say 120 cubic meters of water a day. It gets tight. I do understand that I saw 5 cubic meters or less of water being used of that thing when we did it, but if I do 5 times 7, no, 5 times 12 gets us to 60 cubic meters at least, plus a little bit of other. This is probably fine. This is probably fine, but it's not what's in the docks. And we're down to 30 million. Look at that money. Look at that ridiculous money. What is it? I mean, we are importing a bunch of stuff right now by train or ship loads. So I'm not fully surprised by this. I was just hoping that 200 million is enough of a buffer for us to not have to take out a loan right away. But at least February is almost over, which means the snow is almost over, so we can go in the right direction and do the thing that we need to do. I will click on the buttons to get money back if we have to. As long as I don't miss it, but this is what it is. Anyways, yeah, we need water. So this one does 120 cubic meters at about 10% pollution. This one does 300. This one does 168 at a little worse than 10% pollution, but it does more. I think I'm just going to use the early access one. It's a little different. We haven't seen this one before, which is totally going to be worth our time because it's totally going to be different and such. No, it's not. It's totally fine though. So that's what we're going to place. Excuse me. I would like this one to go right here. Very good. I'm trying to stare at the numbers, and that went up to 65 million. Wonderful. Why not? So we need a little bit of... I'm just going to flip this around. It's fine. All you really need is the small water well. You need 2 of these to produce at least close to 150 cubic meters. So how about we do one near the water there and one pretty close to the same water here. Give you another road connection out to that area and this one. That looks great. Run a water pumping station. All we need is really one big one to pump water into here right now. So TRR. You got the footpath on the right side. The large pipe is for 120 cubic meters, or 126 what we said earlier. So that can go in here. How's there a building in the way? What are you talking about? Is this... Another reason why I stopped the early access season, because stuff is just not baked out. How? Why is it necessary that I have to go above ground for a water pipe, or go at a very specific angle to make this one even work? This shouldn't be necessary. That should be fine without me having to finagle anything there. But it wasn't. Therefore, I did stop that season. That was part of the reason. But sure, this should work. I think I will stop putting a tower behind this because these two have a huge reservoir. We don't need anything silly to bring water in there, so that should all be fine. Water pumping station goes right behind all of this. Another footpath connection right in there. This footpath connection has to connect to somewhere, so I may as well send it there. And get the same water connection in here, and then put that in a large tower. So we have a little bit stored for when it's required. That should look good. And then if we really wanted to and need to increase pressure for whatever reason, we could put more water pumping stations right behind this thing. So that should be fine. Okay, now we have water. Let's spread out the water a little bit. Water switch. This one's at least one of the easier things to do in the game. You plop it somewhere where you think you want to split out. You get your... Oh! Debojo almost screwed up again. Almost. I almost did the wrong thing. Trying to do the right thing, but I was almost doing the wrong thing. So here's what we're actually going to do. You cannot split 126 cubic meter pipe into multiple 126 cubic meter pipes. So you have to do one large pipe, one is your main pipe, and the other ones will just be smaller pipes. And if we're right, if what we saw earlier is the actual consumption that we should expect in this area, none of this should really cause any issues. I'm skeptical. We're out of money. I'm skeptical that... How much money do you need? I don't know. Start with 30, 50, 60. Cool. I'm just skeptical that if everything runs fine and this is a fully thriving city, that, well, the money's just going away. This is building a city. It's very expensive. I hope we can stay like under 800 million, maybe, potentially. Yeah, having a functioning city may increase the water consumption, or spike the water consumption a little higher, and then our math is all wrong and things just have to go do a do-over, and I would like to avoid that if I could, but I don't know. Anyways, winter is over. Woohoo! Everyone rejoice. And this one goes in here. Okay. The distance here for these buildings does not make a difference. This one should be fine. Covers all of those first buildings over there, and then this one is the second one, which is supposed to be connected to the second substation that we already placed, and that should be good. And there's a little bit of overlap of some of the of those buildings. You know what? I have a different example for Newport Flats and how they interact with water, which would be over here. You are full, you're happy, you're consuming even less cubic meters a day. I wonder if this is pressure related. I don't know. I really don't know. But I think what I have built here is bulletproof. He says, regretting that word right after he said it. But it should be fine. So let's see how that works. Sewage tank. This one I always like to just build right next to where you have your water pipes. This one needs to connect to the water treatment plant so they don't run out or they don't overflow. That should be fine. We do need an extra footpath here. Cool. May as well connect that one then. And the other one obviously will just go right next to where this guy's already sitting. And now we should be fine. Okay. There's two potentially large pipes that we have to connect to. What is this? Oh, this is heat pipes. Got it. Construction crew number 2. I don't want you to neglect your other priorities, so make sure you get all of those things done. Assign construction, though, yeah, if you want to get a couple more of these done. Nope, this is helicopter office. I don't want that. I want this one. Good. Talk to you. And there's not a lot of reconstruction going on. That's actually good news. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes. And then the rest you can just build on whenever you feel like it, I suppose. Cool. Yeah, get that one constructed. Those are fine. A couple footpaths here, a couple footpaths there, and there, and there, and through here, and a couple of the larger buildings. That's all good news. Those are all things that I want you to do. Let's complete sewage, though, because that's what we need. Sewage, large sewage pipes. So start with that. Go underground. So there's a connector right here and right here. Got it. A 4 million, I bet. A 4 million in the bank. This one, there's an open connection, but we shouldn't overload it. We should do a one... We shouldn't go crazy here. How much sewage goes through this one? You're not telling me. How much sewage goes through this one? You're not telling me. Maybe the overlay is going to tell me a little bit. Sewage flow. 31. I saw a 31 there, and we are fixing to increase the production here. So there should be more pollution going through there. So let's just say that this is at least 60, maybe a little more sewage going through this area. Okay. We don't really want to overload that with what we're going to do next. So what I'm proposing is going in and switching a sewage or adding a sewage switch in a couple locations, a couple strategic locations, as I would say. The first one maybe here, TRR, there's a footpath that I wanted. The next one right here. Also I'm placing that really far down the road here, so hopefully we get the angles that we require for all of this to work, but those two are fine. And then we're just going to have one feed in from all the way out here, building in the way. That's okay, because I think I also want another sewage switch. Just because I have a feeling we will have a little bit of extra capacity. We don't need a ton, but a little bit of extra capacity should give us what we really need. Excuse me, this one. Thank you. All the way down there, or there, or there, or... You gotta be kidding me. Okay, go the other way. You go this way. Tunnel above the train at some stage. Oh, the joys. Oh, all the joys. Okay, go there, and then you will be fine. You'll be fine for the rest of the way? Maybe? Potentially? Okay, that one counts. Do you want to get this one into a sewage switch as well? Yes. I feel like I regret it if I don't do it. And these are really not that expensive, so just throwing one in here just because we should feels like a pretty low investment on my end if we gain an extra connection out of it down the road at some point. There's not enough slope here though, buddy. Okay. That part we can fix. F3 to get into the footpath. Our measuring tool, and this one says over here you're approximately, let's do this, you're approximately 15 meters, and over here you're approximately 17 meters. That's not going to work. F2 to see a little bit of the slope. 30 meters over here. We may as well put the two sewage switches right next to each other, and then we don't have problems. F3, TRR, connect here. Get me my sewage pipe, large one and large one, and we should be good. You can even run F4, gets a snapping back, good. You can even run next to this for quite some time until you hit the magical spot right here. And then you're good, cool. Sewage pipes, done. Water pipes should be next, but they're always easier. We're already switching them out, so that's easy enough. You, sir, will connect there, and you will connect here. Okay. What else are we missing? We're getting, obviously, a couple buildings in here. That's great. It's going to take a little while until everything is really done. But at least all the paths are taking on shape. We still need power for this to run. Do we have to worry about not having enough power production, not power production, but enough power available for the steel mills if we run them at 100%? That is a good question. Our circuit breaker is at 80 kilowatts, 800 kilowatts, 800 kilowatts, right? Yeah, 0.8 megawatts, 0.8 megawatts. How about you just say that and you don't have to transfer or translate or do any of those things? Good idea. That's what I meant to do. So yeah, if we have 1.6 megawatts of power, that's what I wanted to say, going through here, I think we may be okay, although this one says you are currently way overloaded, so a little bit of extra power wouldn't be bad. I do know that a while ago I did add an extra power line to go somewhere over here because this one was already hopelessly overloaded. And what did I do? These are already full. The city itself does not require a lot of power, but running these 2 steel mills at max production will require a lot of power, and that is what I'm trying to figure out here. Where's my underground pipe? The underground pipe is coming from there and it's also overloaded. Okay, I probably need to solve that. I'm going back up in my loans here, but I'm not really sure what else I'm supposed to do about that. Nothing's going to change until we have this city full enough of people. But at that point, we should be able to turn off all our imports of steel, and that's really what I'm hoping for. And maybe I'm being a fool. Maybe that's not going to work. Maybe that's not going to be enough. But maybe it is, and that is worth it. 36 million. You know what? We need whatever we can take. So let's get you out of here. I did send that ship back that was exporting vehicles, and honestly, it didn't have to do anything. It was able to just stay there and immediately export all the things that it wanted to export, so that was cool. Okay, have you go and have you go. Happiness is going up, or has been up pretty nicely, which is actually exciting, but here happiness just goes down, and I really don't know why. They have pub, tavern, and church and spirituality, which is hurting you. But if I look at any of your problems, then you got food. Are you gonna go to sport? Where are you going? Sport is right here, and you are immediately as you enter the building, you're getting the sport that you require. Money's out again. Damn it. It's just... I can't escape it. How much do I need? I know that I didn't send that many people out just now, but just, come on, 100 million should at least leave me alone for a couple minutes. Yeah, I know we're kind of back into the same spiral that we had earlier, but I thought with all the money that we made with the NATO money, we would get something done here, but obviously we didn't. Nonetheless, the city is taking on shape. Can you tell me what we're still missing? It's not a trick question. It's an actual, can you? Like, educational wise. Or can you not? What we're still missing is power. We have to make sure that everything is powered, including this guy, to actually do the fueling. Okay, well, with that in mind, let's get, well, that's what you started and then you distracted yourself. That makes sense. Yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah, definitely. So the first thing we should look at is, do we have any extra power available out here? Now, I don't want to build another power plant right now for this, but it may actually make a lot of sense to do it. Do we have any other power lines here? Yes, we have 3 more. Oh my goodness. You know what we're going to do? We're going to use them. 18 meg... Why is this sorted funny? Doesn't matter. 18 megawatts. Where are you going to take them? We're going to take them out of here for sure and just run them across the fields. How about you run them through this pylon and into the view? What the view, will you mind having a little bit of activity behind you, or should we just try to get this across? That rain is making it really annoying right now to see anything going on here. Thank you. It actually listened and was like, okay, I can go away, no problem. This should be fine. This should be fine, clearly. And then we got a full new power connectivity thingamabob to get us through whatever we're trying to do here. I think this will be good. All right, so you connect out there, and then you just run straight. Do I really need this extra power to go through here? The answer to that may not surprise you, because the answer is simply yes, we are maxing out that whole area, and if we are increasing any of the current industry's outputs, we will screw the whole network, and we can't really afford that. Therefore, yes, we do need a full new power line. Here's what we can do, though. With this power line, since we already know where it's going to go, how about we just give ourselves a little bit of grace and add the power transformers to the back of the city, and then whatever other power we need down the road, we can pull it from here. I think that's a great idea, B-Well Joe. That's what we should do. That's what we're going to do then. Power transformer, yes. It will be this one, and we'll just feed right into there. I am too lazy to do the math, so we're just going to use the biggest power line that we can throw in there, and start building our electric substations. Great. Make sure that you cover literally everything that you can cover. We're going to start here. Now, how much power do the Nerpo flats actually require? Well, we already have a couple built, so we can just look. How much power do you require? You currently are requiring nothing out of 1.2. Okay, how many people do we have here? A lot. How happy are they? They're pretty good. Sport problems. Okay, do you want another sport opportunity? I think I can make that happen. The swimming pool is slightly overloaded most of the time. Got it. State infrastructure? No, that's the wrong one. Another swimming pool? No, but just give me a sports hall, the big one, like all the way out here. It is in walking range of the station, so I don't see a reason why you wouldn't do this. All right, it is done. Now we have more sporting opportunities for everyone that wants to do some sports in the area. Great. What were you looking at? You have 288 million in the bank. Oh, that's exciting. Are you going to pay off your loans again and then reverse that? It's called a reverse mortgage, right? No. Either way, more power. Cool. So, yeah, if we only require 1.4 or so, sorry, 0.4 of power, then I think we'll be pretty okay with just plopping one here to cover everything, plopping two in the middle of the city to cover most things, and this one I'm actually going to put a little more strategically. One there, one here. There's a little more activity out here. Sure. And maybe one more down the road here to cover all the rest of the buildings, and then we should be good. End station, no, end station's right there, so that should be covered. Okay, this will cover everything. You've done it. All right, let's use the large ones for all the city buildings, and then we can use an underground one for the one that's a little further away. I think that'll be fine. A. Exhibit A. Oh, come on. Don't make this look ugly. That's better. Exhibit B would go through the backyard here by the gym. That's what it's called. That's a crappy angle. That's fine. Go for here. Go for here. You don't have trash done yet. That is accurate. You go through there. Then you probably have to go through the backyard here by that utility building. That looks fine. That looks fine. That looks good enough. That can go here, and then we pretend that you were supposed to go there in the first place. Cool. So that's a lot of them. This is another one that probably would require or would desire a large power capacity. So that's what we're going to do here. Up you around the corner. There you go. Meet up with this power line. It's gonna work. And then, yeah, just trash. And I think then you have everything covered. Unless this one doesn't have a footpath that can go through, where you just put a pylon there. Let's see, pylons are normally the last thing that I build. I'm not sure why I'm choosing to build this right now. I think this is just impatience, which I'm really good at, but there you go. Let's do this. Let's give me the footpath, and that footpath can not go there, but this footpath can definitely do whatever you want it to do. So maybe that's not really an issue. You are also not an issue. With some of the buildings, actually, some of the footpaths already done, we actually have a good shot here at getting a couple more extra things done. That's nice. But yeah, that should be fine. And the last one, I will be allowing an underground cable to go from all the way here to all the way on this side. Other infrastructure in the way, no problem. Run it here and then run it around the corner. So we've at least covered this substation over here, which is nice. And if we need to, there's a lot more power that we can splice into the steel mills now, because it's close enough and we have a splitter sitting, or a switch sitting right in front of it. So that should all be good. Helicopters, I wouldn't mind if you complete more things. Just, if you don't mind, I don't mind. How about that building, and that building, and maybe this building, and some of this infrastructure. Probably that one while you're in the area. Yeah, this should be getting us somewhere. How we're doing on steel right now? Yeah, just a quarter. We're a quarter full, and that's just simply, obviously, not enough for the production that we actually expect out of that, so that has to pick up. More stuff to build, more stuff to build, more stuff to assign, do all your things. Very proud of you. Yep, get that one done too. And get this one done, get this one done. And we're getting close to the end of whatever I can do here, besides wait and see if what we did is actually going to be functioning and useful and functional. But I feel pretty good about it so far, honestly. There's no remorse, no buyer's remorse right now, which I can't always say that that is a thing. But is there anything else that we have to look at while we're in the area? No, I think we're good for today's episode, which featured just about everything. Snow, and that's about it. Cool. Yeah, that's what we have. I will let this build. I will manage my money a little bit as much as I can. And we do have to go in and figure out what we're going to do with all of these broken vehicles in all types of situations. Where are you guys? There's so many broken vehicles sitting around right now. It's not helpful. These are just bulldozers. We don't care about those. That is a train. We do care about you. Would you like to be replaced by an electric vehicle? If we have one, I would like to click on it. Not that one. Yes, there's a bunch of them here. If I say this and this, it's the wrong way around. If I say this, then go here, and then tell you... Not quite doing what I wanted it to do, but okay, let's try this again. Click there, replace vehicle. Come on, autosave, you can do it, get out of my way. I'm busy over here. No. Not all stop schedule is suitable for this vehicle. Oh, you're actually a diesel. Okay, but this one is a diesel. Why doesn't that one work? That's a diesel. It's just a passenger train. Why can I not replace it? That is very frustrating. Very frustrating, actually. Yeah. So if I do... Hold on, let's do this. If I assign you to this... No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. Okay, your wear and tear is 100%, so you definitely have to do something about that, because you're really just sitting there blocking everyone. And I wouldn't be surprised if this one has a similar issue. Why is everything at 100%? Yeah, that's a great question. I do not have an answer for that, but... please? Please get replaced? I tried this out, and I swear this is how it was working, but obviously this one's not doing it. Is there something I have to do here? Train replacements. This is all fine. Send to scrapyard. That's good. If I tell you that instead of this, you can get this one? Does that make a difference? You click that button? Not picking it up. I don't know. Huh. Looks like there's another thing I have to try to fix next time. Potentially. I don't think there's going to be a train actually stuck behind you because of how I have the signals laid out. But I don't like that this guy is just sitting there and not letting me do anything to it. Would you mind, you know, coming all the way over here where there is a diesel train sitting there? Maybe. Maybe you can make it. Maybe you can't. Hard to tell from here. But it's driving again. Cool. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next time. When the city is going to be done. Oh, pretty city over here. Yeah, but when the steel city is done, we obviously still need a bunch of buses. That is something I will tackle once we get closer to actually having this city ready to rock and then to roll. And until then, it's just going to be waiting and seeing if the things that we have done are not completely stupid. But who's there to judge? Where is... Not that one, not that one, that one. No, nope. Nope. Yep, there we go. Get some helpers in here. Get that one built. And then if you want to bring a couple people out here that want to help, that's fine. I'll allow it for the big buildings. There you go. Who has built the heating plant? The heating plant is already completely built. Great. The sewage pipes are not built at all. Not great. Do you have... You just don't have coal? I don't need workers right now. What are you doing? Okay, turn it off. Like a light switch. It's okay. Cool. Thank you so much for watching. City is building, and I will see you next time. Hopefully it will be fixed, and then we can run it 20 years, and then we will see what we'll be after. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.